We live? Are we live or are we live?
Are we live?
Are we live? Uh,
Hold on. And the thing unlisted itself. Hold on.
gotcha.
There we go. Public. Done. And here we go.
Alrighty.
For podcast. Need for podcast. Epic.
Sensational.
See, I'm getting going to be joined by now.
Alright, we're gonna wait for a few people to come in and then get it on with this podcast.
Sure thing.
And if you just joined in, welcome. Welcome to this first ever episode of a new podcast series that I'm doing. The N4P podcast, otherwise known as N4Podcast. What do we do here? What is the theme here? What do? We just discuss whatever that comes in our heads and then talk about it for like an hour or so.
Need for P.
Something like that.
Something like that, basically.
Something like that. Just talk about whatever.
Whatever that comes into our heads. But let me also put a timer. See, I want to make this as an hour type podcast. Because, of course, we all got stuff to do. And sometimes when a podcast goes on for too long than it should be, it could get stale sometimes. So I'm trying to build consistency here.
Even number.
Yeah, I see the link, the chat. That's where you pretty much join in. You have to be at the waiting room VC, and that's where I can grant you the specific role so you can later join in.
And speaking of that VC waiting list, you can also join into my Discord server, as my moderator 76 already posted the link of getting into my server. Just make sure you follow the rules if you want to join in on a daily basis to conversate with other people aside from myself. Just remember, there's rules on my server as well as this podcast, because we only allowed a certain amount of people to be here. Because,
They'll follow the rules and we won't have
that like to BS around. I'm not tolerating that. And so far, the art has been going good, right? How about your guys' end? Everything all right?
All Gucci.
Yeah, all Gucci.
Oh, Gucci indeed. That's all I like to hear. Okay, so first ever episode.
This is awkward.
Yeah, I know. Already started the timer. All right, Need for Speed 2022. There, that's our topic right there.
Spin delay in favor of the next Battlefield game, which, quick little facts, being developed by 3 actual developer companies themselves.
Now, we all know why the game got delayed. Well, COVID was a huge hit to not just any EA studio, but also to every other studio. And since Criterion is taking over and it's just been building up again, now in the beginning it's not the same Criterion as it was before, with the Most Wanted 2012, Hot Pursuit 2010, and Burnout Team. It's been, sort of a rough ride and trying to get everything up to speed, not knowing little much about the next game. Which, aside from COVID, game got delayed just to focus on Battlefield, which, again, I don't blame EA for that. That generates money. While there's still an audience for Need for Speed, you just gotta get your financial funds up to the right levels that you want it to be. After all, it's a business.
But
what I want to know is, what would it be like after? What will the next game be like after
That's a good one.
coming up after what we had with Heat and the little support that the game had after EA dismantled Ghost, and then put Criterion basically in charge of Heat with the little things that they can do, and then nothing else, and start working on the next upcoming game, which we know what's happening right now until next year. What would that next game be like?
So you mean like after Need for Speed, this new Need for Speed coming out?
Yeah, what would it be like? What are the things that we can speculate that it can have, and what things can it do better than Heat, or let alone any game beforehand?
Maybe I feel like we all know that Heat had an issue with post story gameplay. There's basically nothing to do. I feel like the game needs something to do afterwards, like how CSR 2 did it with Tempest. It's boring. I mean, it's not boring. It's very basic, but it gives you something to keep working for after the game ends. You still have a reason to constantly make your cars faster. And I feel like Need for Speed generally needs something like that. Something that gives us a reason to keep trying out new cars, other than just because there's nothing else to do.
Also, things that I like to see, it's also a longer story, which, yeah, it could get stale at times. We've all seen it in the past, like Payback, but Heat Story, I want to see something like Heat Story. It was a pretty good story, but the problem was it was just too short. Not just with the amount of missions, but let alone the amount of things that involve in the story. Starting off with the import and export shady business that Mercer, Danny Shaw were in it, and then all the way to the end where everything got shut down and everything got good at the end, sort of. With Eva Torres being around in charge, now it's gonna be tougher with the police. It would have been cool to see an expansion like that, but again, that story got cut short, and I want to see something similar to that in the next game. Not just along with the fact of a longer story, but also the ability to replay any story missions, which is something that he apparently didn't have. You know, to have more replayability and just have more fun than just doing the missions once and never do them again, unless if you're gonna sacrifice a save file just to do those missions again.
I feel like, though, for that, the story has to be good, and which I also disagree with your previous point on. This is more opinion, of course, but your point of he having a pretty good story. Now, I understand people don't play a Need for Speed game for story.
I know it's a pretty good story, but it's not the best overall. But at least it's perfect in comparing it to other games that we had previously. True.
It's passable for a racing game, but as a genuine story, it's about as cliche as a character saying, "I was one day away from retirement." I feel like, though, if a game is going to include replayable missions, then those missions, in some way, each one needs to have its own. It needs to be enjoyable in its own way. There can't be a lot of, filler missions or missions that genuinely just don't make sense to be in the game. Which leads me to another point. Should Heat have or not Heat in general, but the next Need for Speed game, should it have a more open world style mission system where you actually have to go to different places to initiate a mission? or should it be more linear and missions kind of go? The game kind of goes along in chapters, basically, like how Mafia did it, where you finish a chapter, which is one entire mission, and then you move on to the next.
That's a clearly unknown on what EA and Criterion wants to do with their story. Since canonically, you could say this is gonna be the first time Criterion is ever gonna do a video game that they are going to develop with a story, aside from Black. So I don't know if they're gonna do the linear approach or do the open world, which I say do more of an open world type style of a story to do missions and do what you gotta do than a linear path.
Oh, someone in the chat also brought up something interesting: multiple endings for a Need for Speed game.
Which, fun fact, I believe Undercover was gonna have that type of multiple ending stuff. And of course, and that's saying with the "you're not good, you're not bad" quote that appears in the loading screen. That never ended up being to be because of the development time that Black Box used to have. And we got the crappy story that we have of Undercover just being as a normal beginning to end story, with a lot of plot holes and a lot of points in the story that just don't make any sense at all.
Now, here comes a quick question. Pretty much related to the story stuff. Did you guys really mind the actual Need for Speed game that focuses on gameplay, or just rather storytelling wise itself?
I say gameplay. I value gameplay over anything.
Gameplay. See, I like the stories on the games, even if they're just not okay. If you catch my drift, being goofy, cheesy, I still like them regardless. But I say just go and focus on gameplay, since that's the one thing that you're selling a game for. And with the previous games not being the greatest, it still needs more improvement. Especially with the game engine that they're using that was never meant to be a racing game engine.
As well as, again, I said this before, but a lot of people don't play Need for Speed for a story. They don't play the game to have a good story. So when you hear people saying the story is bad, 9 times out of 10 you have to take that with a grain of salt. So in general, I will still stay with gameplay over story.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. About for the next Need for Speed, would you guys okay, this might be a controversial question here, since especially for chat watching here. Would Break to Drift really make its own return, or will it just be something more revamped?
Well, about Break the Drift, thing is, I feel like this is a question that really varies depending on the person rather than a set answer. I guess for me, I would like if Break the Drift actually made another appearance in the Need for Speed series. It's not bad. Sure, it may be less rewarding, but in its own way, it also invokes a bit more skill to the game. Someone keeps leaving and joining.
No, that's me. Sorry.
Oh.
Basically, Jack and Swag were just randomly joining without just being told get it in anyways. But go ahead.
But yeah, like I was saying, so Break the Drift. I see where people are coming from with it. That it removes a bit of skill from the game, and to a degree they aren't wrong. It does remove a bit of skill, but at the same time, it invokes a bit of skill, because now we get into things like drift boosting, mainly in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, or where it made its real first appearance in 2015. It makes more skill to the game, at least in my opinion. So I'd say, yeah, honestly, I want Break the Drift to come back in the next Need for Speed game.
For me, gotcha. Break the Drift, I get it why they're doing it. It's a lot easier to maneuver the car in the corners, and no other person will take little to no effort to attempt to gain skills and drift through corners like we did in previous games. Notably with Pro Street in terms of drifting, or in Carbon, or any game that didn't have a similar Burnout type style handling. But at the same time, you need more skills when it comes to drifting. You can't just rely on break to drift or on anything, especially on corners that are not perfectly suitable for drifting.
Say that again.
I'd say I'd say do something with what the run had in terms of the handling, because out of the Frostbite games that we had since 2011 and onwards, that was the only game that you could say that didn't have break to drift. And I prefer a handling style like that than what we have now. And I do appreciate break to drift too, but at times I just prefer to learn to drift and just rely on break to drift and just instantly drift at a certain amount of speed.
Right. But sorry for just deviating a bit, but someone like one of the newcomers in general just like kindly asked if he was just like join in for the moment. There he is.
There he is.
Sir, may I have to like ask you just unmute your mic for the given moment if you want to just speak here.
Yeah.
No music. I'm not dealing with that copyright stuff.
Yes. Feller is paranoid.
I'm not
You know, jokes
paranoid. It's
aside.
not me. It's YouTube.
Uh,
If those are the rules, I gotta follow them, whether I like them or not. Which I don't. But it is what it is.
last warning. Please unmute yourself for the moment.
Now, one thing, if anybody else wants to, join in our podcast and conversate with us, you have to keep your microphone unmute all the time and talk. Because after all, it is a podcast and you have to speak.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
There you are.
There
There
we
you are.
go. How you doing? How you doing?
It's so good, man. To be honest, I always watched your videos one by one for the couple like from last two for the last 2 years. I've been watching your videos one after one after one. But actually, I feel so sorry for you that the PS4 broke down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just
Yeah,
can't
that
wait
was
to get paid from my job to get a new hard drive.
obviously. Did you guys think about the like? Do you guys think about the cars that are in Need for Speed games? Seriously, there are no Need for Speed games that are good without any Supra.
Hmm.
No Need for Speed game
It
that's
was a
good
pretty good
without a
game, and that didn't
Supra.
have a Supra.
Let me see. Let me trace back in my memory what games that did not have a Supra. All right, Heat 20.
Need for Speed.
Heat. That's the first one.
Just payback and heat.
Yeah.
Then
2015 did have a
Rivals.
Supra.
Then that other Most Wanted.
Well, to be fair, Most Wanted Rivals was not like no necessity for a
It's
Supra to begin
supposed
with.
to. It's supposed to be Burnout Fairhaven.
Then
as
Hot
you said. Yeah, I
Pursuit,
still
2010.
remember.
And then the classics, aside from the very first Need for Speed.
Let's give this one a bit of a pass though, and say let's exclude games that were not focused on the tuner scene. So games like the Hot Pursuit series and Rivals are automatically thrown away. So we
Do
still
we throw
have
away that other
Payback,
Most Wanted?
yeah, and that 2012 as well is excluded. So
Okay, so the chat say that Run had a Supra.
the
It did have
one did
Supra.
have a Supra. Yeah, it had two. It had a few actually.
It did have a Supra. I
Good.
know. I even drove the Supras in that game.
But yeah, I can still, even then, I could still list a lot of games that were good that didn't have a Supra. Again, Heat, Payback. Let's see what else. Nitro was also pretty good.
Do you guys wish that we could engine swap in Payback? That could be good. If we could put the BMW M3 GTR on the BMW M3, that we can build the BMW M3 GTR. We can put the engine in the car and put the wheels, which is BBS LA 494 495, which will make the car the most wanted car of all of the cars that were added in the game. Because obviously, a game without an official BMW N3 GTR sound is a total pain.
If Ghost
I'd
Games
also
had
have
that idea of allowing us to engine swap, then yeah, it would have been a good feature to have. Well,
Speaking of,
yeah, we
that
started
gives us
engine
also.
swapping
Oh, go
since
ahead.
Shift to Unleashed, but not to the extent that we were able to engine swap that we can do in Heat. But since they never thought of that, or let alone they were never able to implement such feature in Payback, especially with the 2 years that they had, or let alone it just didn't work out at the end when making that feature if they tried to. But it is what it was, and it would have been cool if we were able to engine swap any car that we can think of in that game.
This kind of relates to it, but since the M3 GTR, so I'm sure everyone here knows, the sound that was used in 20 and two. No, my God, I was about to say something else. In 2005, isn't actually from an M3 GTR. Instead, it's from a TVR, which leads me into question: how would you guys feel about TVR making an appearance in Need for Speed? Because from my recollection, I cannot name a single game that has had a TVR in it.
if you try with the older Need for Speed games, like the Need for Speed 2 Special Edition.
Apart from those.
Okay,
I
so
guess.
Modern Age,
Actually,
none.
Need
Yeah.
Apart from the 90s, we're not going back there.
Not caveman, I know.
Actually, Need for Speed 2010, which is called Most Wanted. It's not Most Wanted, dude. This game is not Most Wanted. Like you have only white cars, no customization unless if you go to the gas station. You don't even have like that customization. Your personality is like a trash bag. You can't even customize your car. What's the point of that? The game is a total F grade.
I can't really
I think you
blame
might have missed
Criterion
the
on
point
that
of
since
that game.
EA was the reason they canned that Most Wanted 2 idea.
Right, we have like some other people like in the waiting room for the given moment. They got anything else to say?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say to N4S, thank you, man. Your videos are good.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Nice
You have
having
a
you
really
here.
good content. I hope you get a new PS4 and have a good time. I'll be listening to your podcast.
Enjoy the rest of the podcast, then, man.
Thank you for
Yeah.
joining us, my guy.
Thank you for joining us.
We got three. We
Well,
got
just get
3 people
Dallas
in the
in
waiting
here.
room. All right.
All right, Dallas, welcome to the podcast.
Oh,
Welcome, my good sir.
Welcome,
there you
welcome.
what you guys doing?
go. Yes.
How's the day been?
It's been good, actually.
Fantastic. Good Sunday,
Yeah.
actually.
Been having fun.
Pretty good.
Enjoying the podcast.
Good to know.
You seem very low.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I guess back to the conversation. So, I believe we left off on TVR appearing in
And Need for Speed.
yeah.
I think I
So
seen
people
the
in
TVR on
the
code.
chat are saying like, the Crew 2 had TVR, and I know the Crew 2 and Forza does have TVR, but I mean in a
Test
Need
Drive
for
even
Speed
had
game.
TVRs. I know that.
I know, like, I think Undercover had a TVR,
No,
like
it
right at the
didn't.
start of the game, around tier 2. Like, I don't know. I don't really know.
I
It's
play
alright.
Undercover, but I don't recall seeing a
was-
TVR in that car
TVRs, yeah.
list.
I don't know. There isn't a single modern game, I believe, that has a TVR in it.
Let alone, I don't know if there's a single Need for Speed game out there that had a Celine.
So, I
Because
think
it's
there
a
is. I
weird
think there
move
is
of
a Need for
having
Speed
the
game that has
S7
a
in the
Celine. I
movie,
just don't
but
know what
never in the game.
I mean, I guess in some aspects it would be a bit, I don't know, redundant, I guess, to have both Shelby and Celine in the same game.
Yeah, I know Celine is also a performance aftermarket company that also specializes in upgrading, mostly known for their upgraded versions of Mustangs. But it's the S7 in particular that's the only car aside from the S5 that we know that they solely made. And that's the car that people, you could say, want to be in a Need for Speed game, but unfortunately we never got that. We got it in the movie. We almost got it on the cover, but overall, officially, never.
True.
So, my beloved. Oh, right, we were back on like main topic as like the Need for Speed 2022. What could we really expect from it?
Oh yeah. So, I did already state that just more post-game content. Something like Tempest from CSR2 would be great.
Wasn't the one that Criterion is gonna make this one?
This is the one that
Yes.
Criterion is making.
Yes.
And the one we were
Yeah.
supposed to get, but, you know,
That's
we
think I'm
now know
expecting
when it's
Battlefield.
coming out.
I think I'm expecting another Burnout. I think. I'm just expecting. I'm not actually knowing what they do.
Now, keep in
I wouldn't-
mind, the people that are now working for Criterion are not the same people that worked on Burnout, Fairhaven, and Hot Pursuit.
I hope.
So you think that it could be a whole different, like basically unrecognizable from Criterion?
In
Maybe.
terms of Criterion standards, basically. Because they were likely just built up with what Ghost just left off.
Basically, anything can happen.
And that scene from that little bit of beta footage that, you know, it exists of the next Need for Speed game.
Hmm.
Any
Now, in terms
Oh my
of
God.
where it should take place,
yeah, we had
so
East.
we went down to a scaled down version of LA in 2015.
That was all west.
I
We
still
had
don't understand
Vegas.
why the hell they just tease the city and never be able to drive in it. Then we had that version of Vegas in Payback, which, I mean, it is big for what it is. I expected more casinos, to be honest.
I think it's not meant to be just Vegas, but just Nevada in general.
Yeah.
Like a really scaled down version of Nevada.
Oh god, you giving me nightmares about Nevada.
I love Nevada Highway. Sensation going over 250 on
Alright,
a tiny
side note,
road.
how would Payback be if it actually had the infamous Nevada highway from Pro Street?
It'd be like home.
God.
I'll tell you how. It will be hell.
Think I'd have a reason to play Payback a bit more.
Just to suffer?
Just to suffer, yeah. Suffer with me.
Why are we here? Just to suffer.
Just to suffer. Every day.
Maybe I should save
I
up a
can
little
hear
bit more
the-
money
I can
to
hear
buy
the
Pro
total,
Street and then
I can-
suffer. Just to see what it's like.
But maybe that's just me being a pseudo-masochist that really likes Nevada Highway.
And then we
Yeah, I
have
think it's just
He,
a
which
story.
is, well, portions of
Miami.
the city we know it's Miami. Then other portions you can say it's a mix of southern Georgia and the rest of Florida.
Bit of Jacksonville and Miami, right?
No.
Or Tallahassee.
It's basically
Do
a
we ever
mix of
have
what you can
Detroit
get
in
of
a Need for
southern
Speed game?
portions of Georgia and state of Florida.
Brad, for your question, I don't think so. Unless it's like the
Surprising.
run over here, like here, but that's just stage bits.
Not even. I don't think the run had a stage in Michigan.
No, I don't recall that. Let alone when I replay the run on extreme, yeah, I suffered, but I managed to get through with 10 resets used just to get a damn Zonda.
I beat this game on extreme and I got this lousy Zonda.
I beat this game on the game and all I got was this lousy Zonda, imagine.
Well, actually, I never played the run. I never got time to. So I
And
don't
now
know
that
how
we're
it's
here in 2022, where would it take place? What other major cities in the US? Because it's unlikely they will go outside of the US for a parody city.
Texas. Texas.
Let's see.
I'm
They still
here in
have
Texas.
they still have Detroit. That would be a nice place.
California.
Detroit
maybe
or
Texas,
Atlanta, maybe.
Colorado, Detroit, anywhere.
New York, actually. New York would be nice. It'd be nice to race through Times Square.
Bits of the
They
countryside
better
as
get
well.
the traffic right, though.
Like a countryside in New York still has like these smooth roads I mean, pretty much the last bit of the stage of like the run could says for itself.
Hmm. True, but hmm.
And out of other cities that I can think of, I'm thinking either Atlanta or Chicago.
Nevada.
I
Wait,
thought
we
somewhere
already
of like
said
Northern California with those winding roads.
They did that in 2015.
Never mind. Like the more forested areas, I mean.
The
They did
areas
that in
that are
2015.
just mostly forest, not anything that's closer to a city or environment.
But how about like we actually combine lots of cities and make it one, just like Need for Speed World did, like one more cities instead without Most Wanted in Carbon.
I've been
Could just be
thinking of
good
that
idea.
as well, of actually having an entire world like Need for Speed World, but combining every single city that we have gone from Olympic to Palm City, from 2003 to 19, combine that as in one
But I,
entire map, and then basically Need for Speed World 2.0.
but I
Hmm.
think I
That could
think
work, but then you gotta realize that a lot of these
But
cities,
it's a lot of the
they're
limitations of how much space
yeah.
will the game take up in your hard drive just to implement such huge map.
I mean, it
new Need for
depends.
Speed becomes Modern Warfare
Let
with
It
alone
200
not
depends.
just with the
gigabytes.
sizes of the map, but also the in betweens. If you know what I mean, the in betweens of the maps on how we can get there with the highways and roads that we can take going from one side to another, like the roads that
I
will lead
think
from Palm City all the way to Rockport, basically. In any
I
small
think
areas in between, just to give it more of an environment feel than just an empty highway or road.
I think it depends about the actual maps if they want to remaster them and then put it in a whole world.
I
So
feel
the
like a
textures,
remaster would be
I'm
necessary for an idea like this.
like a remastered world, not about cars and anything. The actual map.
They can
If they want
try
to do
from
that,
they can
they can
try
try.
they can try with Redview Ventura and Fortune Valley and even with Palm City recently, but anything that Blackbox made, that's something that I don't think they will be able to do with the game engine that they used. Especially that
I
they don't
mean,
even own that engine like they do with Renderware.
only if they copy it by piece.
Hmm.
That's the only option. It will take lots of time.
Now,
What if there
So
was a system like, say, how with the different cities, but like you go to the airport or something, but you can only take like, you know, 2 or 3 cars with you, and you have to choose basically what cars you take when you're going to a different city, or you can only take one car with you.
Just like in the crew?
Kind of in the crew though, you can kind of switch to cars on the fly no matter where you are.
Because I know in the crew, like you go to a different state and you get your new car.
Yeah, you
'Cause
get a
each
new car
different,
because it'll
yeah,
introduce you to a new class.
yeah,
But I mean, like, you can only take one car, and you're locked to that car until you return home. Until then, you can use all your cars.
interesting.
I say we could just do 2 to 3 cars. The more the merrier. Come on, you just really want to roll around with one car?
2 to 3
I
cars,
mean,
then. You can
I
only
mean,
bring
if
2 to 3 cars if you move to a different city, or if you go to a different city. If you want to completely
I
like
mean, if you
you could
have
have
lots of,
garages there, like GTA. Basically, you could store those
yeah,
cars there. So if you want to bring all your cars, you're gonna have to be making a lot of trips back and forth.
Speaking of garages, I've been thinking also as well a feature that allows us to buy properties. Yeah, we
Hmm.
kind of had that in Payback, but I mean legit properties, not just garages, but also houses.
like a similar system for Forza Horizon 4, where you could buy different properties. Each property you buy gives you a specific perk.
yeah,
Could just be a good
interesting.
idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Now the question is, will it be one property at a time, or will it be multiple properties?
That's more
Multiple.
lenient on multiple properties. Yeah.
Like you
Multiple.
really like
Because
again, you really just want one of something? Nah. People
One
will
property, like you
really
can't
want
have a
more
house in
than
a
just
different
one.
city.
We don't want to have like we did with 2015. They can only have 5 to 10 cars. If everybody wants to have all of the cars, then let everybody have everything.
But I think 2015 had like you have like 5 cars in garage, but you can put in like another deposit, and you need to get from that deposit to put in your garage. That's what I know about 2015.
That leads me into another thing. What if we could like trade in properties as well?
If there's
Like,
a
we could
certain
trade in.
property that either you can say like Test Drive Unlimited 1 and 2 that has a certain garage space and you want to trade it in for another property that has more than that, you can do that. Or let alone you just want to trade in to a different place because it looks better or it's a lot closer to what you want to do in terms of events, you can do that as well. And even if we went with the idea that the map will just be with that NFS World 2.0 thing, well, fast travel will be a thing. Aside from just going with the airports and going to different areas of the map, but just fast travel in general.
If you want to be a real Massachusetts,
To different, I think to set locations would be better. So yes, set locations.
I think garage only fast travels, but the events maybe you can go with the car. And just
Events that
travel
you've
there.
already completed.
Yeah,
Yeah, fast travel to events that you already done. Now the cars.
Like, what type of cars should we? Like, what kind of cars, or
yeah, what kind of cars should we have? Of course, we have the typical.
We don't need another
the supercars, the muscle cars, the tuner cars, and JDM cars, and other types of cars that people love and enjoy. But how balanced can it be, and what cars should be included that people demand to be in the game?
So we can drive.
Well, we already know people are gonna beg for the Supra to make another appearance.
How about we can buy like traffic cars? Like in some games, like there's a Cobalt. I want to drive that Cobalt and tune in it, and I can't because it's a traffic car and I cannot buy it.
Speaking of the Cobalt, when was the last time
I wouldn't like as much as as much as stupid as it would look. I'd love to be able to just have the ability to buy a Dodge Caliber.
Not wrong.
Just the ability to buy it.
Especially when there's the SRT4 trims around.
What if we were able to buy the Nissan Versa?
Oh god! Imagine you just find a new meta car.
Which, fun fact, I believe that car was meant to be drivable in Burnout Fairhaven.
I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't mind that. It'd be a nice change of pace.
Exactly.
I mean, it would be pretty cool, especially having that as a starter car.
I agree. Dallas, you got like something else to say because we got like many people in the waiting to VC.
Well, I have for N4S. I love your shitpost, man. They are good. They are spicy.
Shitpost.
Spicy shitpost.
Hey, gotta be blunt about it.
I mean, they're really good. I watch them like often. I don't know when you actually upload. So have fun, guys. Have fun with the podcast.
Right. Thanks for joining us, Dallas.
All right, thank you for joining us, man.
All right, let's get Becca into the VC here. Welcome, Becca.
Welcome.
Oh, welcome.
Thanks. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to join the
anytime.
Podcast. So, I have a good question.
Go ahead. Tell me.
I have a good question. Like, which features and game modes would you want in the next NFS?
Which game modes or features?
I want drag racing to make a return.
In my opinion, they should bring back drag racing with drifting as well, because if you Yeah, you guys know Need for Speed, but people in the live stream, if you know Need for Speed, you know that when it has drag racing, it doesn't have drift, and when it has drifting, it doesn't have drag racing.
It's either one or
Except
the other.
when talking about Underground, because Underground has both.
Both also has both.
And Payback makes us do street races, sprint races with drag cars.
Yeah.
Because the plot said so.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's still the biggest sin of Payback.
Because that one Korean gal and that irrelevant rich dude, whatever his name is, made us do it.
That's a
Yeah.
sin counter. Alright. So about ideas, I'd say Autolog. Like currently it's like underrated and whatnot, but it just really makes like crossplay a lot easier. It just makes a lot of stuff much easier, more accessible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Other than drag racing, I think a whole new game mode would be nice. Like traffic dodging would be nice.
Yes.
Basically, you're only allowed to be in oncoming traffic, and the
Dodge as many
basically the
traffic
point
as possible.
Yeah,
Without
closer
crashing.
you get, the higher you score. Yeah.
That either could work as in until you crash out completely or the timer runs out.
Or maybe get to a destination.
Either it would be both. Like there would be a timer. If that timer runs out, then you get an extra. You get bonus points basically. But if you crash out once, like a full crash, the event finishes.
Yeah, I think that would be nice, and I think this prod idea would be nice to a challenge series reboot.
What about a survival mode?
Depends on exactly how we're talking about survival here.
Surviving the amount of waves of cops coming after you. And the goal is to survive as many waves as you can without getting crashed out by the police or getting arrested.
That would still like open up to opportunities for cheesing the actual event. I'd say like having a survival under a time limit.
Or having a survival where you're actually limited, your car is limited. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
Yeah,
better.
of course, there can be restrictions as to how tough the survival can be.
Yeah, like it goes like Undercover Challenge Series, Undercover PS2 Challenge Series, which are the same from Carbon and Most Wanted. You have 3 different stages of difficulty, levels of difficulty. The first one is easy, and then once you complete it, you unlock the next one, which is medium, and then hard. And then if you complete similar events, like police chases events, from that you unlock a mega challenge, just like an Undercover. Could be nice, I think.
I'm trying to think of a different game mode that the franchise has never done. But it's kind of hard since any game mode that you can think of, it's already been done.
Well, it's been done, but again, as you said, game modes that the franchise has never done. So even if, a game mode that you're thinking of appeared in something like Burnout, just, don't be afraid to say it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I don't think it will like Burnout minigames will not suit Need for Speed, in my opinion.
Most of them would not fit. Like traffic checking will.
I was about to say traffic
fitting.
Road rage, unless Criterion gets us a new.
Or not traffic checking. My bad. The game mode Traffic Attack. That's what it was called.
Oh, it's traffic check. It's actually
the gimmick is traffic check, but the game mode
is called Traffic Attack. Yeah.
Oh, didn't know that.
There's a difference between that. It's the same thing. There's a difference.
I only played from the OG's Burnouts. I only played the Revenge one.
Alright.
Great game.
So that's Great
game.
That's
Great
why
game, but in before 7.6, the takedown is better.
Yeah, I'm considering playing
between 3 and Revenge. I like Revenge because of the traffic checking. Trust me, there are situations where you end up behind traffic in Burnout 3, and sometimes it's gonna be too late to turn around or move away from the traffic. And Revenge, you can just hit on through any vehicle that you want, unless if it's a big old wheeler, 18-wheeler, semi-truck, or a bus. But other than
I feel
that,
like if anything that
you
makes
can
it
just
scarier,
check
because like
anybody you want.
you're basically invincible, right? You're well, not invincible, but you're basically fine on, if you're on the right side of the road.
On the
But
wrong
even
side, however.
if yeah, not only that, if you're on the wrong side, someone pushes you there, now your heart starts racing. But if there is a bus like on the right side of the road, you still can't punt that. So it's terrifying to just be blasting through cars left and right, and then you just see a bus, and it's too
If
late.
I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken, you can move the bus with the traffic you're already checking.
Oh
All
yeah, you
right,
can't do
If
that.
you're going
so
very
You
fast.
throw
customization
traffic at
in the
people.
next game.
Hmm.
Should we
Customization.
reintroduce different types of customization that we had in the past, like autoscope, audio trunk systems, any other
Yes,
thing
out
that
of
we had
script.
previously that are not present nowadays?
I'd like autosculpt back. For me, it was pretty nice to like shape the body kits and wheels the way you wanted. And a fun fact: when I was a kid, I thought it was a mode to let your car like with neon brightening, because in undercover it's like it pulses bright, yeah, bright blue. And I thought it was neon. I was like, oh, you can put neon on the wheels, but no, it's just the selection. Yeah, it would be nice to have autosculpt back.
No, it's
It is
and the fact that I
it
mentioned
was
about
a nice
customization,
idea
somebody's
back in the
asking
day.
about character customization like we had in Heat.
Oh,
That will
I,
stay the
I
same
That'd be
theme.
nice if we could
I
walk
think it
around.
could be. I think we could have character customization, but like TDU2, like various things to mess up with. Because
Yeah, if
if
we
you
want to
take a look at
reintroduce
Heat,
that again, I say let us actually customize our character the way we want.
yeah, because
Like change
it's
their
only with
face, change their
presets. With
skin.
it. We only have presets. The closest character I could get to myself was an Asian, and I'm not Asian. Not not being xenophobic or anything, but it's a bad thing. It's only presets. You cannot
I
like
understand.
change
I
at all.
understand too.
Since we were talking about parts though for cars, what if we could actually create our own like custom parts? Not autoscope. I mean like fully from the ground up, create our
Oh,
own custom designs.
yeah, I think that's pretty hard to implement,
It would
especially
be really
with the
hard to
engine.
implement, but the idea
But it would be a
itself.
nice idea. The idea
Concept
is very nice.
idea, it's a good thing, but in terms of putting it into action, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it would be strange, or probably buggy coming from EA.
Just let alone
Maybe
exactly where you're trying to make.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like
Becca, you got some details. Go ahead, fella. I thought you had something to say.
yeah, like how exactly you want to make, especially on custom parts that are discontinued that were back in the day. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice, I think.
Yes,
You
well,
remember?
Becca,
Oh, wait,
go,
what?
go ahead.
I think it would be nice for them to reintroduce the body kits from back in the day. You remember, like, Eddie's Skyline body kit? It
That
was
wide
beautiful.
body.
Fiberglass-filled bodies.
That thing was beautiful.
That OG
For me, at
classic
least.
03 body kit.
It's either
Yeah.
nostalgic, cringy, or just like a
No, no,
downright
no,
dumb.
no. The done right thing, like reintroduce it, but in the correct way, not letting it like all cringe.
Like something subtle.
Yeah, probably.
Like
But it would be
something that
nice.
makes you say, that looks nice for what it is and how old it is. Something that doesn't look
Yes,
too flashy.
something that does
subtle
that
and
like
just
that aged
something
well,
that's
something that
just
aged well.
perfect. Not good, but not bad.
Yeah, something that has aged perfectly, like that has not aged as bad as we thought.
Bad.
Like
But
really
then
bad.
cars,
again,
you know,
that
we have
varies.
to this day we have cars that had been released like back in the early 90s that still look great to this day. So yeah, I think it's the same for some parts.
I agree. Becca, you got some like last bits to say? You got like what 6 people waiting in the waiting room.
I don't know, no, don't worry, don't worry. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to join once again. Big fan of your channel, feller.
Mhm.
So yeah,
All right,
No
see you
thanks for
all.
joining.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Anytime. See ya.
See
See you,
y'all.
man.
All right, now for the order, let's just try and bring Swag if he could just like try and unmute his mic for the moment.
Now, we got about 13 minutes left into this stream, but I can go on a little longer by 30 minutes and then call it a stream after that.
Let's
Anything works.
we'll see how it goes. I think after let's see how it goes. Once if it passes the hour mark and we're still not done, we should probably get everyone. See
All
what they
right,
have to
Swag. Now
say.
you can unmute. You're currently in. Just give it a minute or two. See if he'll be back.
Oh.
All right.
But give it a moment. Right.
Remember,
I kind of
again,
forgot.
let me give y'all a perfect analysis example visually of what I want out of my podcast. You see this? See this logo right here with the microphone and that slash? I don't want to see that. Simple. That's all I want.
Want some voices here.
Actual, authentic, legit voices. That's for sure.
Think of this like a public speaking class, alright? You gotta speak in front of everybody. Especially in this scenario, speaking in front of a bunch of people online.
All right. Let's give it a minute to see if like Swag would actually unmute his mic. Got a couple seconds, Swag. If you can't hurry up, you might as well
We
go
got
back
30
to the waiting room.
Now, back on the cars topic of the next Need for Speed game, what kind of cars, exactly specifically, what kind of cars would y'all like to see?
I'd say more like the 80s JDM side of like the tuners to say, because you always had like the 90s and whatnot.
More classics, more 70s muscle cars would be nice.
That
I'm
is
tired
well.
of seeing I'm tired of seeing the Charger and the Barracuda in every single game.
Just open
And
up
for the
to something
Charger,
different.
I just want to see the new Charger.
Of course, everyone wants to.
Better yet, just give us the Scat Pack, please.
Right. Swag, you kind of had your time. Yeah, time to go back to the waiting room.
Sayonara.
Too slow, Junior.
Now, let's get Pink Cabriolet in. Alrighty, welcome, Pink.
Yeah, no.
How's it been?
Sup. You might remember me as freaking Racer. Also, N4S, I was deadly PCB guy from Xbox. And,
I don't recall. It's been a while since I even checked my friends list over there.
it's alright, my gold membership is dead anyways.
Ooh. Oh, what you got for us?
Well, I actually don't know what happened to the news of the new NFS game they are developing, and I think they're not going to continue progress until maybe next year or any other year.
I feel like you might be right. They may not continue progress, or more specifically, they might not continue making major progress, just minor progressions in terms of development. Again, since they did delay it just for Battlefield.
And
So
just
that-
keep in mind, it's not like every single personnel working for Criterion is going to stop with Need for Speed. There's still going to be a few select amount of people, a small group that are still going to work with it. Well,
I
the
guess you could
majority
say
is
that.
going to make Battlefield with DICE.
So, what's your thoughts on the new Hot Wheels game they announced?
You know, the Hot
Yep, they just announced a Hot Wheels game like a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I seen the
Yeah.
trailer of it, but
And
I
they
never got to finish
also
it.
released a gameplay trailer, and I saw it yesterday.
I'm blue for this one.
So far, it has a livery editor and a track editor as well.
Yeah. And I
Oh,
think
speaking of track
some Hot
editors,
Wheels
shouldn't-
fans are gonna go wild on the customization.
Speaking of track
if it
editors,
happens,
should
of
we
course.
have a race editor in Need for Speed?
Yes.
I don't know.
We had
Not a track
race-
editor, since well, it depends if you guys want to see something that we can actually make legit tracks, but at least a
actual
race
race.
editor.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it might be a good idea, but I highly doubt on it. Maybe the track error might be in the new NFS game. Who knows?
So
I say start out with a race editor. Just put as many obstacles as you can and checkpoints as well on the now existing map to whatever it is that we're going to, and then do it as that.
Yeah.
because when you say track editor, it kind of scares me because I think of like the GTA 5 track editor.
Which
I don't
don't
wanna
get
see-
me wrong, I want to see something like that too, but knowing them, I don't think it's likely possible that's going to happen.
No,
Or at
the
least
physics-
Yeah, I
that-
guess so.
Oh, like, oh god. Imagine like, you see a wide body 240 driving up a building.
It's just something out of out of Hot Wheels for that.
And you know, I wonder. All right, so 3 games in a row, the 911 RSR was the most overpowered.
Oh
car.
yeah, the reason why I'm named Pink Capital A because of a vehicle that Amy drives in free Sonic racing games, you know, like Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform.
Good game.
Yeah, same. I used to play online when I used to have my gold membership.
Yeah, I even downloaded it back then when it was free.
Oh,
If I could actually, I
so
would
you
try to go
so
out my
you
way.
have the so you used to have the gold membership and you then download it for free, right?
Yeah. It's the same thing that we have for
Well, I did download
PlayStation when
some
it
games
comes
with
to
my
having
gold
your
membership,
membership and you
like
can
the
download
Real
games for free.
and
Same
some
thing with
Indiana
Xbox.
Jones game.
But the thing that Xbox does better than PlayStation is that regardless if you have a Gold membership or not, you can still play the game regardless as long as you have an internet connection.
Yeah, which is pretty fair to be honest, because if the game was only available for gold membership, you'll be crapped and you won't be able to play the game even without a gold membership. So they made a right decision on letting you play even without a gold membership.
Alrighty.
So
Quickly check.
again, like I was trying to mention earlier, so 911 RSR, most overpowered car in the past 3 games. Would it be overpowered for a 4th game, or will a new upcomer come up and just be the most overpowered?
It's gonna get changed. I have
Yeah.
like 95%
Who knows
certain
exactly?
the RSR will not
Might
be the most
happen.
overpowered in the next game.
I've also hunch that indicates that the 911 SR is also going to be like changed in some way or replaced with another car.
Yeah, maybe.
And if it will be replaced, what will replace it?
I have to assume with the old 356, since the 356 can also be like there was also like the Amory Outlaw modified one. That's a chance.
I actually don't know what it would be replaced with. I can't really say.
Same. I don't know. What's your honest opinion on Team Sonic Racing?
Wait, Seven, you
Some
said
people-
356?
Yeah, they have the 356. That's like their model before the 911. The reason why 356 no longer continues because the actual success of the 911.
What if there was roof cars on the new NFS game?
Roof?
Yeah, you know, the alternate Porsche. Porsche.
Alright, about roof. Okay, I don't know. I mean, they could get certain models like what the Crew 2 has with certain
The
few
Yellow
models
Bird too.
of roof that exist in that game. It's not like it's gonna be back then where every single game developer that making a racing game is gonna have roof because of EA's exclusive license with Porsche. Therefore, they're gonna include as many roofs as they can. Nowadays, I don't think they're gonna.
Even though that French Turismo
try since Porsche
has freaking Porsche cars in it.
So I say it's.
I mean, go ahead.
It's kind of like I don't think it's likely on 100% yes answer, but it could happen. But it's not gonna be like a definitive yes.
Yeah. Besides. Roof was on games like Gran Turismo and Forza Horizon.
I think. Okay, so
Speaking of that, I used to play Forza Horizon 2 online, and I did download some liveries, like a Martini Audi Quattro livery, and even the iconic 555 Rally livery for a Subaru. You know the one.
I'm sure reps can replicate it. Did you say something, Brad?
Yeah, I was saying. So you said the 356 could be a good choice to replace the replace the RSR.
Well, not exactly the RSR itself, but like a modified version of the 356 by Emery. Just look it up here.
Because of course, if you just put
maybe the 96, I was gonna say the 96.
that's not gonna get
there it
anywhere. Even if you put it in a race against the GT40 from GT2.
Well, stock for stock, that's for sure.
What's your thoughts that which car do you think is going to be a starter car on the new NFS game?
I feel like it's gonna be a choice again, like how they've been doing it recently. You're gonna have a choice on what you want to use.
Yeah, and I meant by starter cars and all that. But obviously, it's going to be some OP cars, just like it did in NFS Heat.
For a starter car, though, I wouldn't mind if they put an RX-8 as a starter car. I know it'd be a bit like
dated.
Yeah, dated, but I wouldn't mind an RX-8.
But it could be a decent choice after all. Some people actually like the damn thing. Maybe put a freaking Skyline 200 GTR. I don't know.
2000 GTR
2000.
Yeah, 2000. I was gonna say.
Yeah, I was gonna say 200. I don't recall.
Yeah, I meant 200.
It's fine, but that or since they haven't brought it back in a while, they could bring back the Integra.
What about the T35?
Underground 1.
What about the S200?
S2000 itself could be a good choice. But about the G35, if the 350 is in the game, it's pretty much needless to point. Basically the same car.
Maybe they could add a sports car.
Also, I like how when I'm looking on my phone, it shows that 7.6 is muted.
Never mind.
I've been thinking, since there's always gonna be a prologue in a Need for Speed game, well, has been for the past few games, that we play a certain car and never again, at least that particular version of that car.
But it's sometimes the cover car, just like in NFS.
Would the 400C be the car that we're gonna play in the prologue as the very first car we get to drive?
Either as a random car or a cover car.
Because that could be... Because I've been thinking not only be the first car that we drive, but also, it could be the cover car, since it'll be the newest hottest thing to come out.
Just like that Polestar, which not everybody liked.
I mean, I like it.
Aesthetically, it's
That
Like
was
the
just
car is
basically
just in the
underutilized with what it
same.
was.
it's just performance-wise, it didn't really deliver compared to the other cars like the Meta Evo.
Honestly, I think NFS fans are not fond of the modern car culture within the games, and most of the classic NFS has fans just don't give a crap about how the little Pulsar just hate it and talk about his frigging racing or something. I don't know.
Right. Should be like plenty of time. There's like 5 people waiting in the reading room so far. Carriola, you have like something else to say?
Well, subscribe to N4S, I guess.
There you go.
That's nice shout out.
Thank
Hell
you,
yeah.
thank you.
Okay, see y'all sometime on the road, or maybe later. Bye. I'll be
Likewise.
in the waiting room
See ya.
again.
All right.
Right.
Let's see who's up next. In order, now
Jack
we
is
have
up next.
All right,
All right.
next.
There you are.
Well, look who it is. Look who it is.
Me? Man. What's up, everyone?
Feel
What's up?
excited.
How you guys doing?
Doesn't get a proper
I'll go
welcome
with,
because I know who it is.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Talk to the project here.
I gotta be a little bit quiet.
That's fine.
It's whatever.
Alright, how you guys doing?
As you said, I'm pretty much fine. Excited.
Pretty,
Okay.
pretty Gucci, sensational.
Well, damn, fella, I found a hard drive for you. It's got a lot of good games.
You found a hard drive with how many? With wait, how many games?
It's about 140 games, and most of them are racing games.
Is it a terabyte?
Yes,
How much?
I found for I don't know, $20. Like, bro, all of those
Where?
games. Yeah,
Deal.
because the guy was selling all of his parts, and he had no idea how much the hard drive actually costed. And bro, found that.
Hey, do me a
for-
favor. Once I'm done with the stream, send me what you found.
I'll try and find the link.
Send me that
Why
link,
not?
because I wanna,
I'll
dig in more
I mean,
research to
it's-
see how legit it is before I get the thing that I need the most.
I really hope I can buy it.
Which I know I may get a hard drive, but I know I'm not gonna get my save files from every Need for Speed game I play back.
Honestly, I'm thinking of just probably deciding to get the hard
Now,
drive just so I can send it to you.
Comparing it to what I had with the pain that I suffered and losing all my progress, so should EA make similar type servers with what Rockstar, Polyphony, and Ubisoft and Ivory Tower had when it comes to save progress for the next Need for Speed game?
That would be pretty good. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I think that's a pretty good idea.
Because, yeah, believe me, sure, it's gonna be safe on a cloud server, which at times could be not the most efficient way to save your save progress, if you know what I mean. Especially with what Rockstar had to deal with back in 2013 with GTA Online. But
Like manual saving,
in
you said?
terms, what's up?
Like you said, manual saving, not autosave? Like a separate save slot?
You know,
Like
think
how
of
they
it
did
like
with the other games.
think of it how like your progress is automatically saved through a cloud server.
Uh-huh.
That's exactly what I'm trying to go here for. the
Ah,
next Need for
cloud
Speed
saving. Right. Like I thought you meant like the older games you had like different save slots, like just go back in different career.
No, not that. I'm talking about what we had with the Crew 2, GTA, and Gran Turismo Sport.
Yeah.
Which, again, it may be not most efficient because at times it can randomly get deleted, but with upgraded servers, and especially with the technology that we have now, that possibly things like that can never happen, it will be a good thing, especially with a situation like mine could happen. Having my
It would
hard
cost.
drive getting broken, and then regardless of what happens, your progress will still be saved with the cloud as long as your account exists. That's something that I would like to see.
Probably the one thing I want from that one question, like, what car I want to be in NFS, probably one of the Remax.
The Rimax. Rimac.
Yep, Remax. Yeah, buddy.
That like which one of them? Like the one in particular that is most famous that we all know?
The one I'd get is probably the Concept 2 or maybe even the Concept S. Because the Concept 1's overrated because of Hammond.
Overrated for the wrong reasons.
The Concept... Oh, I know. The first one. Like, the first ever Concept, the 2012 one. I actually saw that thing. I was like, what, 8 years old? No, not even 8. I was 6 that time. I was going to a car show with my dad, and we actually saw the first ever Rimac Concept.
It's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It actually had HREs.
HRE, like carbon fiber wheels?
Yeah, like actual HREs, not even like actual Rimac wheels, HREs.
Right.
That
I
was
can
probably
imagine
the
how that thing
coolest
looks
ever
like.
Rimac I've ever seen. Honestly, even though I'm a huge Rimac fan, they've actually bought Bugatti, which is kind of crazy.
You know, it's
Like,
been weird not having Bugatti in the last Need for Speed games.
Right, that's another one.
If Rimac is gonna go into Need for Speed, I think they're gonna allow Bugatti in.
Like, I don't get why they're being omitted. Is it because they don't fit with the game, or is it because of Bugatti's decision? If it's because of customizing, okay, be like Ferrari and not let Ghost. I mean, no, not let Criterion and EA put custom parts in their cars.
That is true, but probably because, well, they didn't think it would fit like the street racing scene. They allowed Hot Pursuit because, well, mainly because of the speed. But they didn't really kind of allow because, well, 2015 was all about street racing in the middle of the night. Probably Bugatti didn't want that kind of advertising.
I feel like that should be more of that was more of a choice for the actual developers, though. It wouldn't make sense, like you said, to have a Bugatti in a game that's all about the underground street racing scene.
Yeah. That is kind of true.
Then there's Payback, which you really think it was really that underground?
No, Payback is a different story. By this point, I think Bugatti has it like they're just firm on we're not appearing in a Need for Speed game.
Just try doing Fast and Furious video game, but without the label.
I mean, Rimac
just
might
electricity and
Bugatti,
all the cars and give them some weird name.
I mean, honestly, if Bugatti's gonna be back in the game, I think there might have to be a giant map with like really long straights, like in Payback.
Or let alone Criterion may decide to bring them back again, depending if it fits with the storyline or not.
Yeah, I mean,
because there's never been a point in the franchise history that Bugatti decided to exclude themselves because of certain reasons. Especially with police, which some manufacturers admitted themselves because of that. And I don't think Bugatti's like that, even if they had their own cars as police vehicles in the past.
Yeah, I mean, probably the main reason why like Bugattis and stuff there no longer Need for Speed I mean, they looked at stuff like 2015 and realized, maybe we shouldn't allow, like, in the street racing scene. They didn't probably allow because of paybacks, more of just random shit.
And it's even weirder that it's just now the Regera nowadays for Koenigsegg.
God, I wish the older Geras and stuff were back.
It's just
Would be
the
nice.
Regera and nothing more. Not a single Regera. Not the R, not the... Not even the RS. Not even
Not if the
previous
CCX.
model, like the
Yeah, I want the
CCX.
CCX. Give me the CCXR again. That'd be nice.
Probably the main Koenigsegg I kind of want is... God, what is that thing called?
So the C12.
No, that's Pagani.
Never mind.
Koenigsegg, we have the CC concept.
CC8S.
No, just CC. That's like the first Koenigsegg.
The
Oh.
one for 96?
Yeah,
Hmm.
the prototype.
The prototype before 2002 with the legit CC8S?
I mean, the CCAS might be good, but I don't know. I want to see some more prototypes.
But I wondered the decision that Ghost Games had when making Payback in Heat and implementing Chester Regera as the only Koenigsegg in those games. Sure, it didn't fit in with 2015 because of the underground street racing. But since they included Koenigsegg back again with Chester Regera in the next two games, why exclude the Regera?
Honestly, I have no
I think they
clue.
just decided here to cheap out on and licensing.
That as well.
Probably
Just cheap out with the
decisions,
one Regera with the only gear, okay.
Yeah, just cheap out on at the time one of the newest model.
Imagine they
I mean,
couldn't bring back the Agera again because when they included that thing in Rival, especially being in the cover, it just depleted their funds.
That
So
as well.
bad to the point, not even with the sales of 2015 brought them back.
We will never financially recover from this.
Right, Jack. Got like a couple of people just waiting for a room. You got some like stuff to say?
I mean, honestly, subscribe to the main man. I hope you enjoy trying to get a new hard drive. I really hope you get one. And see you guys.
All right.
See you, Jeff.
Alright. Should we have convertibles again in the next Need for Speed game?
Yes.
Wishfully. All right. No, let's check out.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
we
we
got-
should, since now we can have our own custom characters.
All right. Now let's get Awesome Man into the VC here. Alrighty. Welcome.
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 Welcome to the annoying. No, wait, who could do a voice impression of annoying orange? I'm terrible at it. No, wait,
Razmat?
I think you need a helium voice.
Hey, you're gonna need some helium for that one, Chief.
You're gonna need a helium tank.
Yeah, went back to the waiting room.
Gotta rearrange it back down though.
He went back and now he's trying to go and find a tank of helium.
I guess so. All right. Next up on the list, then after him would be
Just you got Azuyoko here. Oh wait, I just hit the mute. How convenient. I mean, should I move him anyways?
sure. I mean, he. Oh no, yeah, he just undeafened himself. Go ahead. He's here.
Alrighty. Welcome, Azuyoko.
Welcome.
Hello.
How's it going?
Didn't expect it to be this soon, huh?
Not really.
That's a quiet
So-
room. Now.
Yeah, it's been slowly quite. Let's see. We already went through the story. We went through the vehicles. We went through the characters. Like not customization itself. Performance mods.
Performance. I mean, typically we will
mean,
have turbos in that game, along with superchargers, and
That as well.
even other typical components that we know that make our cars faster.
Well, and y'all know the speed cars itself. So I'm not making a return any moment
No,
either.
no. We're not talking about those.
This is an RPG game either. For parts themselves, like, do you really want to have the additional details, like different, I don't know, like different power bands or like per se turbos, different types, like tuning itself. Like, would you really want certain ECUs to have certain like levels of like tuning? Like, just to be more in depth, just want to be straightforward. Just put this, get this amount of power, you're good to go.
How about other certain things that we were able to do in 2015 that apparently didn't make their appearance in the other two games? With the suspension and...
Right,
say-
suspension tuning.
Like,
I say it kind
like
of
being able to customize the handling of the car. Tuning it to the point that it's either a grip or a drift. Sure, we can have certain components like we do in Heat to make that possible and make it as a drift or a grip build. But in the sense of just tuning it to the way we want it to be.
the sense of tuning it to either understeer or understeer. It's amazing.
Like everything you do just in the steers.
Like,
And
tiers?
even doing other things like spacing out your wheels. Yeah, you can do that with PC mods, but listen what I just said. PC mods. You think that's fair for everybody else? No.
It's a matter of getting the PC, that's all.
It's just a matter.
Imagine you want like a console and then you see everyone playing on a PC and like you see all the cool mods and then you just cry.
That's me in a nutshell.
That was me 2 years ago, like, and before I got a PC. I kept seeing people playing like 2015 with mods, and I was just like, "Why did I got this for the Xbox?" So I was crying, like.
Yeah.
Right, guys, I'll be right back. Let me just get something to eat.
Alright.
Enjoy your food.
And now that I have an actual job, not just YouTube, because, well, YouTube doesn't pay you that much, especially with the amount of views that you're getting, or that I'm getting on a monthly basis. I'm trying to save up for a laptop that I have. Well, I have the laptop, but in terms of upgrading it better to the point that I can play games, then maybe that's when I can get games that I already have and just play them for the sake of modding. And me even make videos of those mods. Because believe me, seeing games that I own that were on consoles but also on PC, it's the amount of things that you can do with modding that are not possible with consoles. Because Sony and Microsoft won't let you do that. And even with Need for Speed, especially with the older games, like the Pepega mod and the Battle Royale for Carbon.
The Carbon Battle Royale.
It's those
That was a cool
things that you just really want to experience. That's just not possible with consoles because of those limitations.
Need for the PC experience, and then it's just feller playing PC games, or just literally racing games on PC and just giving you the entire just how much of a difference there is in comparison to the console counterpart.
And don't get me wrong, I'll still play console even if I'll play PC for the moment I start getting games and playing it from now on and not playing this console as often. I'll still play console regardless, just to play with my friends. Because not everybody that I know will have a PC. But mainly it will just be for modding. Doing things that are not possible in consoles again.
You know a game that like you cannot experience the same way with console and PC? Assetto Corsa. Like you can pay the exact same much on console and PC, but if you're not playing on PC, you will not experience neither half of fun of it or the full potential of the game. You will to be stuck with like an half finished game. Meanwhile, everyone on PC just have like a different entire game with the same name, and you'll just be like crying because like damn, I wish I had the PC version, not the console one.
It really do be like that.
It really do be like that sometimes.
It really do be like that sometimes.
Sometimes. That feeling when me and Fell are on the same brain links here. Done.
Shit, swag. Look, my man, I'm famished.
How famished. Let me get the S card gots.
Let me get that chicken bisque. No chicken. Extra gluten.
Chicken bits. That's soup.
I'm about to read a dictionary.
How the fuck you read a dictionary?
You read a dictionary. Knowledge.
It seems that when Seven Son left, yeah, it's now turned into a meme fest.
Now,
And before he
all
back and
right.
states that we're off
So
topic.
we know that there's 3 racing games that EA remastered. Well, probably gonna be 3 if you want to include the one that I said. So far, there's 2 with Burnout Paradise and Hot Pursuit.
Alrighty.
So when would, because this one's likely gonna be no matter what happens, even if it doesn't really need one with the way that it looks. Most Wanted 2012. Would it be remastered next year, coming alongside with the new game, being the first time since, you can say, technically 2015 and releasing 2 games in the same year? Or would Most Wanted 2012 be released again this year or come out in 2023, not to interfere with the new game?
Next year.
Next
It'd be a
year,
good
totally.
celebration.
Because the last 2 remasters were only came out because of their anniversaries. And sometimes because EA just want to make extra money.
I say next year. It'd be a nice, again, a nice 10-year celebration. Same way how they did it. Oh, no, I guess I can't really say how they did it with Hot Pursuit Remastered. That came out 11 years after it came out. But
Early
No. Hot
birthday.
Pursuit Remaster was perfect 10 years.
wait, was?
It came out in 2010. That's why we refer to Hot Pursuit 2010.
Yeah, but then didn't it come out? Oh wait, no, it did come out in 2020. I'm slow. Okay,
Oh,
I'm slow. I thought it came out in 2021.
Nah.
oh my god, I wish.
The only news we got from Need for Speed, it got delayed to 2022. That's it. And in terms of updates, it was just a livery editor. That's just whack compared to what we've been used to in the last 3.
Not just a livery editor that we had to wait 4 months for. They tried to be Rockstar with that. Make us wait like 5 years for something that they advertised on day 1.
4 months of a wait just to have a livery editor. That's just, I'm not gonna say again, it's not a terrible editor, but it is terrible compared to what we have with Heat.
Yeah, I literally went
It's
back.
like they made it bad
Like,
in purpose.
I can't even make a rap on Hot Pursuit Remastered anymore. It's just that bad.
It's just certain things that you can do in Heat that for some reason you can't do in Hot Pursuit Remastered. Hell, some of the
It
cars
literally
that I
just-
made, like that 918 for my Everything Wrong With Hot Pursuit Remastered video, that's not really the way I wanted it to make that thing. Because the left and right sides are inconsistent to each other when I wanted to make the left side exactly like the right side. But that didn't be in the way I wanted. Which is still possible, but it's just gonna look off.
Everything's just gonna look off, and that's just the issue with the whole rap editor in general. Like everything just looks janky no matter how you do it.
You cannot make anything asymmetrical on the other side, and it just look like one side's bigger than the other one.
And
That's
even the
the
lack
word
of
that I-
certain liveries, like certain text
The lack of
liveries, like the ones we have in the one we have in Heat and Payback. And yeah, there were only 3 types of There were only 3 types of fonts, but at least it was something. While in Hot Pursuit, what are the fonts? What are fonts?
What is font? What is letters?
Why is fonts?
What are things?
Who font?
When
Who is
fonts?
font and what is he missing? But seriously, just literally the lack of lettering. That's a sin and a half. That's something that you have to purposely go out of your way to remove. Someone sat there and said, "You know what would be a good idea if we remove the ability for people to actually create text." And then
I just
somebody
imagine now they're just sitting there and they're like, yes, let's remove font from Vinyl Editor. They will love it for sure. And then they just do it. Like, who approved that?
I want to know who. Like, please, I'll go there and fire him myself.
Now, I want to have a talk with him.
I want to go and find that person and just talk sense into them. With aggression. Burnout revenge style.
Talk sense of aggression.
I'm gonna go pull up on them with burnout revenge aggression, with the aggression boost from Paradise. I'm combining them both, and I'm gonna talk sense into them as to why did you approve this?
Now, what went through your
Imagine
head?
just me them in
Look
the
at
street.
my
just
logo.
this is
Look,
like,
you can
yes,
go and check out my
I hate
Everything
letters.
Wrong with Hot Pursuit Remaster video, and go to a portion of the video where I showed pictures of my 918, my custom livery for my 918. Look what I had to do for my logo, because I typically like to include my logo on my livery designs. And that livery design of my logo, that's not how I wanted it to be. Slapping the NFS logo from back then. The number 4, which, yeah, there's fonts for numbers, but what about letters? That doesn't exist.
Okay,
and
guys,
then
I'm back.
have
Welcome
another
back.
number and flip it as an S. Which that other number was a 2. That's not.
Oh,
that's just.
wait.
That just looks weird.
Seems that okay. We still have we have 2 more people waiting in the waiting room. At the moment. Yeah. So, Seven Son, you're free to.
And speaking
got
of the
some-
livery editor for the new game, should we do this? So they have the same one as we had in Heat, or upgrade it more, or have a different overhaul livery editor?
Same
This
one
is
in
mainly
Heat.
for
If it
people
ain't
that love
broke-
to make art in their cars.
Same one in Heat. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Sorry. It's like they kind of nerfed down like the version into like Hot Pursuit like remastered. That kind of like pains me.
Yeah, we did literally talk about that.
Now
I
the police.
What about the police?
As in, what cars should they drive? Same ones as they've been driving on, or change them up a bit? Should they have certain weapons that other games had that we're not gonna be able to access it because people
Let's say
are very
Sorry for-
decisive when it comes to the pursuit tech?
say remove the weapons, but make it so that the implied tactic, like they used like tactics, like the scoring part from Most Wanted 05. Like you had like those like stateside cops like try like score you up so it can slow you down.
Hmm.
You know, actual tactics, like realistic ones.
Like something you see in real life, like blocking,
Exactly.
making them make you
Lockdowns.
choose
Lockdowns.
weird routes to trap you out, or
Like pit maneuvers,
like-
brake checking.
Yeah, something to purposely stop you.
Rolling
I
like
would- I would-
physical. Like instead of like using gadgets, just physical violence.
Hmm.
Like literally,
Yeah,
you
And
get
I even want the
Fire-
busted cutscenes to come back.
locked down from top to bottom. The only way to escape is literally at this point you have to hide.
Exactly.
And I also want the busted cutscenes to come back.
The
yeah,
cool
we had
one-
them again in Heat, but do you really call that busted cutscene that's the only one?
You're just getting arrested by a cop in the
It doesn't live
background.
up to what
Just literally put the HD version of like the Carbon or Most Wanted cutscenes, and everyone will be okay with it.
Or hell, even the ones that like Hot Pursuit 2.
Even the ones in Undercover, they're literally so good compared to the one they have in Heat.
And that's the best that we have in terms of busted cutscenes thus far.
Especially when you get
Undercover.
tossed a donut on your face.
You just
The
get a
aggression that we
donut.
get from the
You'll be
Tri-City
able to
police to
it.
arrest a player not knowing that he's also a cop and just doing his job.
Brady, yeah, except for Yoko for the moment, he seems like muted. Just wait for a bit till he unmutes. So just ask if he got something else to say.
Yeah, because we still got 2 more people in here, and then yeah.
Now, in terms of the cars that they should drive, what cars should they drive? Or just
Depends on
be
the-
the same lineup that we have in Heat?
It depends on the setting. If it's like up north, if we had a northern setting, then they should only drive Chargers or Explorers.
Well, if it's like a US wise, yeah, I could see the like Chargers or Crown Vics. But if it's like out of the seat, which it's less like at this moment, I could just see them try like some commuters that can be seen across Europe.
Because, of course, there's going to be a domestic type of police vehicles since it is taking place in the US. Not like they're going to use supercars like we had in Rivals and Hot Pursuit. Yeah, I say Chargers. How about the Ford Taurus?
Okay, yeah, so you could like left or us at the moment.
Alright, so next one on the list is Art.
Wait, we kind of forgot of like Awesome Man.
I mean, does he still want to
Legend
Never
says
mind.
he's still looking for his helium, so I don't know he's back.
Yeah.
Let's just get Art in.
Alright, Art of this.
Alrighty, alright.
Welcome, Texan. Welcome, Black Lung.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
The creator of that Red Dead Redemption 3 leak.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Howdy.
Y'all
Boys
can
and
hear me,
girls.
right?
Yes,
Loud and
sir.
clear.
Howdy Quattro,
Alrighty.
how you doing?
Oh, I've been doing good. Snake fell off my house earlier. We didn't get to kill it, but I don't know. It was an experience. Just say that.
I can relate.
Don't have little reptiles falling off your house like it's normal.
Oh, bro, nah. Around here, that's basically like a. I mean, it's rare, but like seeing reptiles, nah, that's normal around here.
Actual reptile rain. I thought it was like they've invaded your place.
Oh no, like it was just sitting up there, and like right when we were walking in the house, it just like you just hear a flop, and then we look to our left, and we just see like a snake all curled up, just slids under the house, and I'm like,
What the hell? Nani?
It was crazy, dude. So what were y'all talking about before I was introduced?
We were talking about what cop cars should be in the next Need for Speed game.
Oh, well, for that, in my opinion, I'd probably have to say just going off just basic cop car in general. One cop car that I would really, really like them to reinstate would just be like the normal Corvette cops. I know it's in Hot Pursuit Remastered, but I would like to see Corvette cops again. Not the normal Corvette cops that we see in Heat, but just like the Z06 or like something like a third or like fourth gen like Camaro. Cause like I don't know, dude. When it comes to cop cars, I always picture them like a classic style, not like something like a big fancy hypercar. Like it always gives me vibes of
Quick and cheap.
always gives me vibes of like old TV shows.
Ooh, the cop show.
Big boys, what you want? What you want? When they don't you.
And that's saying, since we
So
only see the Charger that I only remember recent memory, I can only think of the Charger as the only cop car that's a competitor to the Camaro or the Mustang of being a police vehicle that we see on police chases. So yeah, I would like to see a Camaro or a Mustang.
Yeah, like in my opinion, I always wanted to see like at least like a third gen like or 4th-gen Camaro, like just something that like you never normally ever saw, but you're like, that's cool. I wish I was born during that time. That's very nice.
Yeah, we'll have to
That's
see them
cool.
at a certain heat level of a police chase, because of course we're still gonna have the Charger regardless. We need 4-door police vehicles after all.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're gonna expect like really fast cop cars, like like your Corvettes. Another thing I probably would like to see would just be like probably maybe just like one Ferrari cop. I don't know. I don't know if anyone would probably enjoy that.
Mm.
If in that case, I would probably add maybe like the F12 or maybe. Hmm, maybe the 458. I don't know. Maybe somewhere along the lines of that, because I can't really picture a classic Ferrari being like a cop car. Like imagine like an F40, just blacked out sleeper car. You're on the highway at night. You just see the police lights. You just see an F40 just speed by, and you're like,
Whoa.
I'm gonna race this guy. I'm gonna gap him. Turn side, just turn side the sirens. You're just on a bad
Now,
day.
I'm thinking of two vehicles and see what you guys think of this. A C8 police car and that one SWAT truck from Burnout Fairhaven.
Oh no. So you're saying kind of sort of sleek and then nightmare fuel.
oh yeah.
At least for the sweat check.
I mean, dude, pretty much anything from Burnout, if you were to like actually put it in a Need for Speed game, it would just be like at nighttime, just pure nightmare fuel. You're just like, no, 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 no.
What the fuck? No.
No, I just bought this car. No.
I like living.
Now, what else? What else could be mentioned? Yeah. This may be an opinionated topic in terms of what people like, what people don't like, but it's all depending on what the culture is nowadays. It's the music. What y'all like to hear in the game, aside from popping in your Spotify playlist or your YouTube playlist and then just play music while playing the game?
That's actually kind of hard to answer, in my opinion.
Say one more, like
More
Really?
metal and rock than they've been putting in recently.
say,
They've been putting in a lot of pop and kind of mediocre rap. It's
I
really not-
mean, because the way I see it, the reason why they do that is just because it's a street racing game. So they're like, oh, yeah, we got to stay hip. We got to stay cool. We got to stay with the streets. But it's not always like that. I mean, if I'm driving a Charger or something, I would like to just jam out to Metallica or just something like that. Just going like almost 200 on a highway, and you're like,
I'm the king of the
But see,
road.
when they do that, they miss the point of it, because street racing was invented to represent diversity in people's tastes in cars. So
Culture itself.
yeah, so as such, we should have a bit of diverse taste in music, not just Gucci 69 and his Gucci flip flops, and he tells me how much he likes cars and women. Yes, you like cars. Yes, you like women. Please tell me more.
Like, yeah, you got money.
yes.
Yeah, you're a sim, but tell me more about other things, alright?
Need for Speed 2022, duh baby, let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, I
Let's
get that you like women, but
go.
what can you say about the economy?
I will
like,
turn
economy
you into a
position?
convertible.
Bruh, imagine just getting like someone sent me this picture of like they had like a Raptor or something. They had like the entire top ripped off. They had it slammed to the ground, and they're like, I found this in a junkyard. I think I'm gonna leave it this way. Leave a top off it. It'll be the very first convertible truck. You'll
Not a
get
bad
it
choice.
that way.
I can see that.
What do I think about the
There's
Simone
no market
Bailey's
for
latest
convertible
interviews with most wanted carbon actors?
I could be pimping.
You
in
know,
front
it's
of my
one thing
homies.
I least expected out of, not just an interview or a podcast, but let alone something to actually happen. least thing I expected, even after this many years later. But it's been pretty cool though. That's all I can say about those interviews.
Yeah. Man, like, I don't know. What do y'all think? What do you think what's gonna happen in the next game? I'm honestly nervous.
Hmm.
Well, going by they've been delayed and whatnot, I'd say they'll just try and stick to the same physics engine, that like pretty much the same type of customization, almost the same variety of cars, but they won't change much, and that would be another letdown to the fans, especially with that delay.
That's
We're expecting
basically been
something
the
great
whole
at this point.
franchise. Just a whole roller coaster of just like, yay, oh,
They create something new and
yay,
they like copy
oh.
paste to like the next 4 different games.
Well, then
Need
there
for
was
Speed probably has the
2015
most
that
Yeah,
did
it'll
criteria.
that.
basically be a yay, because
Yeah,
it will
oh,
be a
yeah.
yay because it's Need for Speed and everybody knows it. And man, this shit sucks because of how the game will turn out to be, probably.
I mean, like after Heat, it's like at this point, I really only see them like either making A remasters or B just trying to make the game sort of like a Gran Turismo sort of like game or something similar to that of Forza, because